it feels that many people are going through a bit of fear right now with everything swirling around. And thank you so much for that reminder of the deep, still breath that bring us back to our center. And we wonder, just to begin, if there's anything else you might suggest that could help us regulate our nervous systems to remember how much we have to trust at this time.
Well, we are preparing on many levels to hold a container and energy for all of you during this time of transition. For I know perhaps you may not fully grasp, but from our perspective, there is, of course, such a great design, and we have aligned the codes to arrive in the perfect alignment and timing. And so a great death is taking place on an energetic level of the world and the energies and the ways in which you have been. And so, simultaneously, on a deep and profound personal level, you will be having what you might call mini deaths, which are magnificent and beautiful. And they are the final releasing and letting go of energies that have been carried on heavily upon the energetic body and also within the heart center, whether that is of deep and profound grief that lies and is easily triggered by a thought or a sense or a sight or a sound or a smell, in which the grief begins to rise and the tears begin to fall and the rawness is still present, or whether it is a pattern that has been accelerated in the most recent weeks and months that you have carried with you throughout this lifetime, weaving in and out through the patterns, and they are becoming more intensified and stronger. And you may be wondering why, from all the work that you have been doing or all of the processing that is happening, how can a pattern that is so deep and old still be resurfacing? And it is resurfacing because it is coming to the forefront of your attention at this time, as well as your grief and your sorrow or your resentment or any old patterns, for that final letting go, that final releasing, in which an unzipping of the energies that are heavy and dense and which you have been carrying in your energetic body can finally be unzipped, in which can be left behind as a sealing takes place and you step over the threshold as you move through the chakra of time itself, through the future and the present and the past, all in once, dancing with the breath into the open space in which you travel and gallop on the spirit of the great horse, of the raw energy that is coming rapidly toward you, in which you shall climb upon and move rapidly through time and space, speeding forward and entering and stepping over a threshold into a new dimension. And so, because you are at that doorway, you're at that place, that entrance point in which you have been working for so long to be at, and you have arrived. What is occurring right now is that you are going through a sift, like you are cooking something, or you have flour going through this instrument, and anything that is too big cannot sift through it. Well, anything within your energetic body that is of a frequency that is too dense is not able to move through the filter of the portal, the passageway, the gateway. And although at times we might call it the death portal, it is not the death of the physical body. And of course, it is not the death of the soul, for that is impossible, for you are infinite. But it is the death of that in which within this dimension you are finally ready to release, knowing that this propels you forward. And in the propelling of this, it creates a momentum and energy. And that energy then begins to support the planet as a whole. And so, of course, you and the animal kingdom and the crystal kingdom and the plant kingdom and the Mother Earth herself are all going through this profound release, this letting go, this final threshold that you are stepping over and into a new way of being. And so we are here to support you, to guide you along with your loved ones and those on the other side of the veil and the great masters and beings of light, to put out a hand and to open up a space in which you can pass through with more ease and more grace. And so you may be asking, well, what is it that I can do? And that is to face whatever it is in this now moment that is still arising within your being that perhaps you are fearing, because it is the fear of the future that holds you and locks you in a prison of your own mind. And through the death process, within the death code of these energetic vibrations, there is a freeing that happens, a liberation, like the freedom that one feels when riding a horse, where the spirit is finally able to soar. And so during this time, we are encouraging all of you to not run away or to hide or to deny or to repress that in which is arising at this time, but to face it head on as we shall move together toward it and recognize that it is the constraints of the mind alone that create the prisms of these fear that are simply an illusion. And as the Maya, the illusion, begins to dissolve and to fall away, and you step over into this spaciousness, you will move into a frequency of infinite love, a love that has no bounds, a love that is everlasting, a love that is prepared to meet you regardless of who or what you have ever said or done or been or behaved in any way. It is deeply, profoundly unconditional, and there is no word to describe it. And once it is met, once it is felt, and once it is known, the releasing of the fear takes place, because the deep remembering of the essence of who you are and the eternal being that you are, and the fact that there is nothing ever to be afraid of, because you are always continuous and infinite, begins to fall away. So we are encouraging a deep grounding, a calibrating, a breathing, a balancing, and a tuning to nature and its rhythms, and a preparation of a willingness, perhaps through journaling and connecting, as to allowing the fears, the patterns, the behaviors, the grief, the feelings to arise rather than to suppress, so that the authenticness of self can come to the surface and be met with purity of heart. Oh, yes, and to call upon the container of light that is here for you. For you are here in this now moment, wherever you are listening to this, because you have been drawn to this container to be held. And it is not only I, as Archangel Raphael, embraces and holds you through the meeting of these energies so that you may liberate yourself from them, but it is that there is an entourage of beings that are here for many realms, many dimensions, and many also within your own dimension, within your own space, that perhaps have not been seen or have been denied, that are steady and present for you, and to place your attention upon all of that with a willingness to fall into the arms and to surrender to the container of love that surrounds you, and to find that it is there. And for some, they may think that they are alone or that there is no one. But this is not the case, for even though it may not appear in the physicality of the body, as they open up to the space and the willingness for it to present itself, it will arrive and it will embrace and it will hold, love you as the primordial mother carries you in her arms and allows you to weep and to release that in which is no longer needed to be carried with her. As you climb upon your horse and your wings begin to widen and you fly into new places together, for you have never been alone, nor will you ever be.